How you doing? How you doing? Frankie Russo pre-show. Forgot my hat. Oh, okay. You got to help America's team help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces fight post-traumatic stress disorder. You got to go there. If it doesn't work, frusso14, frusso14 at AOL.com. Send me an email. We're going to help America's team help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces fight post-traumatic stress disorder. You got to check it out. We got to do this. It's slow, but we ain't stopping. And then we have the beginning of this model. Fraudulent sector service cards, statistically significant. Obama, Clinton Foundation, Iranian Global Terror Network, Iran's Levy Foundation sending $105,000 to the Clinton Foundation, and then sending $1.4 million to the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. Statistically significant, absolutely. Well sourced. I got the Kelly Moore article. I got Rachel Effenfeld from American Center for Democracy. I got, what else? Hand Skew Case Appendix A. And I got the American Spectator. They actually said they saw in the public records that Levy Foundation's public records that they sent over $1.4 million to the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. And you go to the Kelly Moore article, and it tells you all the activities that went down in the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. And we know a lot of them. The bombing of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, the Holy Land Foundation trial, Al-Farouk Mosque, Muhammad Al-Anoudi, Jersey City Mosque with Musa Abu Marzouk. Crazy stuff, right? You know, I don't have receipts, invoices from the Al-Farouk Mosque in Brooklyn showing that they purchased 500, 1,000 pipe bombs with that $1.4 million. Okay? However, we have statistical significance because we know what went down in that mosque. Go to my website, frankierusso.media. Scroll down, you'll see the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. You'll see some of the sources there. Check them out. It's statistically significant. Court papers, judges' decisions, statistically significant. Okay? Now, so that's that model. Now, what we do is, I do every week, I take that model because I believe it doesn't reach, obviously, it hasn't gone through the official FBI sniff test, right? So to be a criminal RICO and all that, that's the FBI's thing. We're in the courtroom of American public opinion. That's where we are. I got Obama, fraudulent selective service registration card, statistically significant, Sheriff Joe in the court case posse investigation. I got a memorandum of understanding connecting the Clinton Foundation to the Obama-Clinton State Department. And then we got the Iran's Levy Foundation from the 655th Avenue case, Parikh Bahara and Judge Catherine Forrest, Islamic Republic of Iran, through Iran's Levy Foundation, that's a corporation and Bank Melli of Iran who own interests in 655th Avenue, the Islamic Republic of Iran, operating the world state sponsor of terror, operating within United States jurisdiction, violation of all federal statutes, okay? U.S. Treasury, Bank Melli of Iran, a proliferate of weapons of mass destruction. So this is statistically significant, okay? Now, what's going to happen is when it comes out that the Clinton Foundation is a charitable fraud, then this, the server has put this thing over the top. This whole thing is going to go over the top because now they can't say they said they're not going to return the money. They're going to return the money, so that, they can't return the money because it was for Katrina aid. But if they're a charitable fraud, what was that money? What was that $105,000? What was that $105,000 from the Iran's Levy Foundation? What was that accepted for? Right? So what we do is with this model now, this criminal enterprise, we apply it now to the Obama timeline. We got the 5 Iranian Quds Force leaders released in Erbil, Iraq, mysteriously released. We got the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. We got the 5 Quds Force leaders released. We got the Bergdahl trade they're throwing human assets back into the field, materially supporting, conceivably. So there's a pattern, right? The PA Hamas sending money. I got the letters. The 88 senators sending letters. Why are we doing this, Bama? Right? Syria, the red line. Iran sends $3 to $15 billion to Syria. We're sending $500 million to the Syrian rebels. 32 soldiers, 8 Syrian rebels, 32 Syrian rebels. They end up giving the weapons to ISIS. It's crazy, right? And then we got what's the other one? Oh, Morsi. Egypt's Morsi. Muslim Brotherhood send them 1.5 billion, 20 jet fighters. Muslim Brotherhood. Throwing Mubarak out. We threw Gaddafi out with the Benghazi cover-up, and it's come out with Ken Timmerman's research and Claire Lopez that the Quds Force, General Soleimani, were the ones that actually carried out the hit, according to Kenneth Timmerman. So this is the patterns. So is a pattern forming here? I believe there is, because the ultimate pattern is the nuclear agreement with Iran. So now, with all this being said, now I want to look at stuff. Okay, apply it to this to the way the timeline goes with this Obama-Clinton crime family. The Obama-Clinton administration is a criminal enterprise, and if the Obama-Clinton family, which I believe is statistically significant, I'm close. We're close up here. Well-sourced, open source articles, court papers, judges' decisions. We're close. Because we believe that the Obama-Clinton administration is a criminal enterprise, then the Obama-Clinton crime family conceivably, in all likelihood, in all probability, is fronting for radical Islamists, for the radical Islamists. They're fronting for them. In other words, the Obama-Clinton crime family is Osama bin Laden. The Obama-Clinton crime family is Anwar al-Awlaki. The Obama-Clinton crime family is Omar Abdel Rahman. The Obama-Clinton crime family is Musa Abu Marzouk. The Obama-Clinton crime family is Mohammed al-Anoudi. The Obama-Clinton crime family is Yassin al-Sawari. And it goes on, it goes on, it goes on. So this is what we believe is happening here. Conceivably, with statistical significance, I don't have, like I said, I don't have receipts coming out of a bank account from the Clinton Foundation where they're buying 500 pipe bombs for the radical Islamists. I don't have that. But we're close, okay? So let's look at some of the articles that we pulled out today. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. I feel like I'm all over the place tonight. There's a lot of things going on. By the way, I just wanna, Frankie Russo, DT baby, I'm your voice. Donald Trump, I'm telling you. They go, oh, Donald Trump, oh yeah, Donald Trump don't sound like a professional politician. Exactly, that's why he's there. They just love him. He's a man, he's from his heart. He loves this country, and that's why he's going to be the next president of the United States. No stopping Donald Trump. No stopping him. Now, he's walking into the lion's den. Absolutely. Donald Trump is walking into the lion's den. So, it's a tough situation. But anyway, he's walking into the lion's den because I believe he's going to win. And then we got a different situation. Because it's going to be we got to make a lot of changes in this country. So now, where do we start? Let's start. Let's move fast. I have all these articles here. Here's an interesting article. Interesting article. Last week, we didn't actually confirm, substantiate the connection between Black Lives Matter and CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations. But here's another fact that's come out, according to Breitbart News, WorldNet Daily. This is WorldNet Daily. I'll tell you who the article. My computer's going slow on me, but so while I'm waiting for that article to come up, let's look at. Okay, here it is. It's by Doug Ernst. Where's the article? Oh, Lord. Here it is. Regime hosts conference on U.S. police brutality. Do you see what they're doing? They're taking our people and they're organizing them against us. They're taking the amendments, the First Amendment. They're using all our freedom of speech, all our freedoms, and they're using them against us. This is something we got to watch. And okay, here we go. Black Lives Matter to Iranian propagandists. The third annual New Horizons conference being held in Iran this week will focus on police brutality against blacks in America. Wow. Wow. And its organizing have invited American activists to attend. We have invited 30 anti-Israel blacks from America to attend. Event organizer Nadia told Iranian news outlet Cinema Press, the foreign desk reported Tuesday, blacks in America are the only group who utilize their right to protest, and Iran is the perfect place to host them and to initiate a direct relationship with this segment of the American population. The three-day conference, which began Monday, aims to create a relationship based on culture, diplomacy, and revolution between Iranian and U.S. activists. You believe this? This is how dishonest the press is. Because, first of all, we know these numbers are not accurate, right? We know, based on the Harvard study by the dude happened to be African American. I don't have the study in front of me, but it's come out that the study that he had conducted, he was quite frankly, he was shocked that there's more whites that are killed than blacks by police, more than double. And nobody wants to talk about the over 2,000 black on black crime in, for example, a place like Chicago. So unfortunately, the dishonest mainstream press and the Obama-Clinton administration is propagandizing false data, false information. And quite frankly, Iran is the place to host this conference against America, and we're going into this is a stealth jihad move on America, on our infrastructure, quite frankly. The police, we need the police. I'm trying to get the article to come down. It hasn't come all the way down, but what I find rather disturbing with this article. Oh, here we go. Look at this. This is interesting. Wow. News of the conference came from, I love this guy, Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark, a longtime critic of Lives Matter activists predicted a future alliance between Islamic extremists and the movement. This guy is African-American sheriff, like the African-American sheriff from Dallas and the African-American sheriff, the head of the chief of the police in Dallas and the chief of the police in Baton Rouge. These guys don't play. According to David Clark, this guy's amazing. Before long, Black Lives Matter will join forces with ISIS to bring down our legal constituted republic. You heard it here first. Before long, Black Lives Matter will join forces with ISIS to bring down our legal constituted republic. You heard it here first. He tweeted this in October of last year. Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan told an audience over the summer that Black Americans must rise up against white citizens. The Quran teaches persecution is worse than slaughter. It's the Quran, as we have Keith Ellison swearing in under the Quran in the United States Congress. Retaliation is prescribed in matters of the slain. Retaliation is a prescription from God to calm down the breast of those whose children have been slain, according to Louis Farrakhan. Iran has made no secret of its desire to form an alliance with U.S. activists over the past year. In the U.S., whose president is now a black person, the black people are oppressed, disrespected, and humiliated, and such behavior has provided the ground for unrest, according to the Khomeini. Was it not colonialists who killed Native Americans and enslaved millions of Africans? Are these American values? The Khomeini cried out. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's unbelievable. And we worked out a nuke deal. We worked out a deal. This is a fraud. This Clinton administration are full of fraudulent propaganda, fraudulent information they're spewing out against America and it's the American citizens. They don't want to talk about what happened in 2009 with Ahmadinejad, whatever the hell his name is. He was president of Iran. What happened to the coup d'etat, where they fixed the election and Obama sat on his hands like the fraud that he is, like he sat in his hands for the red line with Syria. Because he knows Syria fronts for Iran. He knows that Iran gives Syria 3 to 15 billion. Bunch of malarkey. Bunch of malarkey, man. I'm telling you. Bunch of malarkey. Unbelievable. Okay. Google apparently supports Black Lives Matter. We need racial justice now, according to Google. Google announced its support for Black Lives Matter yesterday, tweeting a statement featuring the controversial hashtag racial justice now. Google. Google. Exclusive new Black Party leader. Blacks need to migrate to 5 southern states from country within country. Are you kidding me? That's the answer to this? This is what we want? Black nation, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, and Georgia. The revolutionary stated. Revolutionary. That's a revolutionary. This is no offshoot of Martin Luther King, that's for sure. God-fearing Christian man. He understood Christ, peace and love. We just need to start migrating back to those states and taking control of the economics in those states. If black people move in, most definitely white people will move out. So it's not a hard process for us to have our own country within a country. Yeah, follow him. Now, just before I kick to this other article with Pat Leahy, I want to lay the groundwork, because last week I had an article that says CARE joined the Black Lives Matter movement out in California in a protest against whatever, Jerry Brown, whatever they don't even know half the time what they're protesting, quite frankly. There's no end game to these protests. People are entitled to protest. I got no problem with it. It's America. But you can't kill cops. You can't create violence against people because they have different political beliefs than you. I'm sorry. According to the Aaron Klein, love this guy. Awesome. This is Aaron Klein. He has radicalism on his radio. He has this guy's a great guy. Aaron Klein's a great guy. When House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi selected the first Muslim ever to serve on a House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, you believe that? Earlier, the Middle East Forum's Islamist Watch product, run by expert Daniel Pipes, revealed Pelosi picked Congressman Adrian Carson of Indiana. He received campaign contributions from various radical Muslim groups. For example, Carson receives contributions from the Council of American Islamic Relations, an unindicted co-conspirator in a terror financing trial, the Holy Land Foundation trial, and found ample evidence of CARE's links to Hamas. Carson received another donation in 2014. Carson has even a larger relationship with another radical group, the Islamic Society of North America, ISNA, which was listed by the Muslim Brotherhood as a like-minded organization. Carson received thousands of dollars in campaign contributions. The individual associated with CARE and with the Islamic Society of North America, which was also named as an unindicted co-conspirator, according to the Daily Caller, reported in the Holy Land Foundation trial. Carson has been openly active in ISNA at ISNA's annual convention held in 2008 with Keith Ellison, the guy who swore in under the Quran, mobilizing the Muslim political machine. Effective strategies for community-based political advocacy. The panel focused on community organizing tools for and participation in the electoral process, as well as how to create political action committees. Carson and Ellison again participated at the July 2009 ISNA convention. The topic of discussion this time was the effective strategies for Muslim political advocacy. America will never win the war, Carson stated. Carson stressed the importance of Quranic model of education found inside the madrasas. America will never win the war against terrorism without the help from the Muslim community. Okay, but quite frankly, who you working with, son? America will never tap into educational innovation, ingenuity without looking at the model that we have in our madrasas. This is crazy, our schools, which innovation is courage, where the foundation is the Quran. The Quran, we know, just go. Claire Lopez, former CIA operative, radical Islam is Islam. Filippini, no such thing as self-radicalization. Paul Sperry, no such thing as lone wolves. The blind sheik, I did nothing wrong. Call me a Muslim, call me a terrorist. I did nothing wrong. He plotted the bomb, he's involved in the 1993 World Trade Center. There's so many things this guy was involved with, from the Al Farouk Mosque in Brooklyn. But he said, it's in the Quran. So there's something up with this Quran. Okay? Keith Ellison from Minnesota, the representative from Minnesota, swore in on the Quran. Now, I'm going to show you how deep this goes. Now I'm going to show you how deep this goes. So now, you know, we're building up the data here. We got CARE out in Cali. We got Pelosi appointing Carson to this House Select Committee on, let me get it again, House Select Committee on, she appointed to the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Now we're going to look at this now because we're going to go in a little deeper. Yeah. White boy, Pat Leahy. Adrian Carson come for Israel with rights violation charges. Pat Leahy has penned a letter asking Secretary of State Kerry to probe claims that Israeli and Egyptian security forces have committed gross violations of human assets. Why am I not shocked? Israel is an ally of America, and Egypt, who threw out Morsi, we had Mubarak there, who was pro-Israel. Israel actually worked out an accord with Egypt. Pat Leahy and Adrian Carson from Indiana, Congressman from Indiana, is going after Israel. Why am I not shocked? Okay? Now, this is where this gets dicier. Okay? CARE, understand something now, just so you understand. The Holy Land Foundation trial is Hamas financing all the way down to the Gaza Strip through the Sakat committees. We had FBI investigations. We had Laura Burns' testimony with the data was so compelling that even Peter King, let me get the letter. Peter King wrote a letter to Holder. Peter King wrote a letter. Peter King wrote a letter to Holder. And he said, here it is. I write to inquire about your decision not to prosecute. It's already, the 246 individuals, organizations named as unindicted co-conspirators in a Hamas terror finance case, U.S. versus Holy Land Foundation. I have been reliably informed that the decision not to seek indictments of CARE, its co-founder Omar Hamid, ISNA, the Islamic Society of North America, and the North American Islamic Trust was usurped by high-ranking officials at Department of Justice headquarters over the vehement and stated objections of special agents and supervisors of the FBI, as well as the prosecutors of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Dallas, who had investigated and successfully prosecuted the Holy Land Foundation case. I think it was out in 2007, because they were coming. It came before Holder in 2010 with this decision that there was ample evidence that the 246 Muslim Brotherhood front organizations were involved in this money laundering scheme for terror. Their opposition to this decision raises serious doubt that the decision not to prosecute was a valid exercise of it's crazy, of prosecutorial discretion. I request you provide the answers to the following questions. What are the reasons for the department's decision not to prosecute CARE, ISNA, NAIT, Mr. Hamad, who is a CARE co-founder and former head of the Palestine Committee of Muslim Brotherhood in the United States? There it is. Okay. So now we're starting to get in deep now. So now you're starting to see. Okay. June 11th, 2014. 88 senators, not Pat Leahy, the lefty white boy, send this letter to Obama. And I'm gonna have to end this because we're gonna get ready for the show. There's so much data here, I just can't keep up with it. We are close, okay? I got a letter from a congressman. This is from 88. No, I have a letter from, I'm going to print this out. This is 88. This is 88 senators, United States senators. 88, excuse me. The recent formation, this is to Barack Obama, from 88 senators, and Benjamin Cardin and Susan Collins, the two United States senators on the top of this thing, and we got 88 senators, 44 Republican, 44 Democrat. The recent formation of a Palestinian Authority unity government supported by Hamas, a designated foreign terrorist organization that has never publicly accepted the Quaternary principles. Just so everybody understands, I got it right here on Wikipedia, so we understand what the Quaternary principles are. The quartet. I'm sorry. It's 12 to 23. I'm getting ready for the live show. I said the three requirements laid out by the quartet on the Middle East for the diplomatic recognition of a Palestinian government. The quartet is a diplomatic entity that is composed of the UN, European Union, Russia, and the United States, and is involved in mediating the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The three principles as outlined by the quartet are as follows. A Palestinian state must recognize the state of Israel without prejudging what various grievances or claims are appropriate, abide by previous diplomatic agreements, and renounce violence as a means of achieving goals. So that's what they're claiming, these 88 senators, that Hamas, the Palestinian Authority, Hamas, are not abiding by. We are gravely concerned that the formation of this government and President Abbas, he's the president of PA, Palestinian Authority, renewed effort to upgrade the status of the Palestinians within the international organizations will jeopardize direct negotiations with Israel to achieve a two-state solution. By its actions and inaction, Hamas has demonstrated it is a partner for peace. Not a partner for peace, sorry. Hamas, it's not. They're a terrorist entity. Palestinian branch of Muslim Brotherhood. nctc.gov. Hamas has openly called for Israel's destruction, and last month Hamas leaders again repeated their refusal to meet recognized international demands. Recognition of Israel, renunciation of terror, and acceptance of previous Israel-PLO agreements. Recent efforts have consequences as to U.S. assistance to the Palestinian Authority as provided for in the Palestinian Anti-Terrorism Act of 2006. Restrictions contained in the Omnibus Appropriations Act of 2014, including prohibiting foreign assistance to Hamas or any power-sharing government of which Hamas is a member or over which Hamas has undue influence. These troubling developments, including the role played by Hamas in the formation of the government, have undermined congressional support for the U.S. assistance to the Palestinians. Any assistance should only be provided when we have confidence that this new government is in full compliance with the restrictions contained in current law. We urge you to continue to impress upon President Abbas the need for him to seize any alliance with terrorist organizations such as Hamas and to return to the negotiating table with Israel. 88 senators, right? Now, in February 16, 2016, Congressman Carson and United States Senator Pat Leahy and nine other members of Congress wrote this letter to Kerry, attacking Israel and Egypt, our allies, basically. Egypt, throughout we had Mubarak, who was pro-Israel, pro-America. They threw him out, Bomber Clinton, because they were American allies. They got rid of them. They put Morsi in. Morsi got coup d'etat, not like, that was a real coup d'etat, not like Turkey. And quite frankly, now they wrote a letter claiming there have been disturbing number of reports of possible gross violations of human rights by security forces in Israel and Egypt. These are our allies. These are our allies. So here is the beginning of this. Now, this is more proof and that Iranian conference with the Khomeini and Pelosi appointing Carson to the House Select Committee on Intelligence tells you now this Democrat, whatever it is, these socialists, quasi-socialists, are usurping this government through, it's like we've had allies for generations, and with Israel in decades. Egypt worked out deals with Saddam until they whacked Saddam. But what's happening here is Iran is using the propaganda that's being infiltrated into this country to further their own cause. Because this is basically an Islamist takeover. You look at Micah Johnson and you look at the cat that was in Baton Rouge. They were around they're from the Nation of Islam. Okay, I'm at 20. It's 12:20. It's almost 12:30. So let me get out of here. Let me get ready for the live show. This is crazy. I got so much stuff here. It's crazy. This is the Frankie Russo pre-show. I'll see you all in about a half hour or so, or 40 minutes. Yeah. See you in a few. Remember, let's help America's team help the men and women of the United States Armed Forces fight post-traumatic stress disorder. We got to do this. Yeah. Okay.